Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're either catching me on my YouTube channel True Divine 44 or my Facebook page True Divine 44. Like, shares, subscribes and comments are greatly appreciated on either or both of those platforms, and much love to everybody who's doing that thus far. I'm putting out as much free content as I can. That includes daily energy reads at the minute, as and when I can with the boys at home, but as often as I can. This is where I pick up on the energies around me and translate those via tarot to bring you guidance, support and hopefully some inspiration for your day. They can help at the start of the day, and they can help at the end of the day to help reflect on some energies that came at you or that you felt that you didn't quite make sense of, or just want to look at more and or see from a different perspective. So it just often gives you room to reflect and maybe change the narrative of your day, maybe look at it in just a different way. So this is for the 2nd of May 2020, and it's a bit of an ouch day if you're affected by the energies that I'm picking up on today. It's ouch, you know. So there's this Four of Cups. This came up very recently in that in this reading it does speak to aversion, weariness, you know, fed up. You can't take any more of the status quo, but at the same time there's not that get up and go within you to get up and do something or change something up or try and end the status quo as it is. The other part of the energy of this card is the invitation to dig deeper, dig past that weariness, past that aversion, into self, into meditative practices. This is the very point where a lot of you today are feeling like the last thing you want to do is to be meditating and being alone with your thoughts and trying to empty those thoughts from your space so that you can get deeper into meditation. It's the last thing you want to do, but very often the times when it's the last thing we want to do, they're the most necessary times to do something. So it does call for this digging past that aversion, digging deeper, digging past that weariness, and speaking plainly to yourself as well in the situation that we are in. How much can one person do to just go out there and change things as they are? So take opportunities where opportunities arise, and you know, this is a rare opportunity to have no guilt, no shame about having time with self and practicing. I spoke about this on Rocky Stucci's show last night at the Situation Room, about this, and Rocky brought up the fact that people get put off because they expect that they can go in and just meditate like a pro first time, every time. And you see, meditation is it's a practice. It's an ongoing practice. Even if you got really good at it but then had a long space in between, and I've done this of just not doing it, slipping the routine, getting other things done, it happens. You have to practice to get back to the stage you were at before. You can't just slip straight back in. It's a little bit like if you were training for a tournament or a match. The difference is I feel a lot of people who are being affected by this energy and really having that knock on the door to say, come within, you know, go within, use this time wisely, have been conditioned to live on the surface. So if you were training for a tournament, if you had a match, at least you would feel the physical pain of training. You would start to see the physical movement and the building up of muscles. You would see the effect you had strength-wise, you know, when you were against an opponent or practicing. So for meditation, it's something that has, one, been covered up, buried as much as possible, and two, it's invisible. You know, it's something that you do within, and some people can't put value to that. The value is only in the physical rewards, only in what you can see and touch. This is feeling, and I would say to some of you, think of your personality. Your personality is another layer of you, a part of you. you can't see it, you can't put it in a box, you can't squeeze it, you can't touch it, but it's there. It makes up another layer of you. So we have all of these different layers, and too many layers have been forgotten, ignored, mocked, even. And so this is the time that we need to use so wisely to reconnect all aspects of self, really actualize our full potential when we engage all layers, all levels of self. Soul work, spirituality, physical work, working even on your personality, the way you deliver yourself, controlling and channeling your emotions, all of those different layers, and the list goes on, many of which have been ignored. That's going to have an effect, especially when that happens long term. So the invitation here is a serious invitation, and I can't tell you enough, just like I can't tell you what colour your personality is or how big it is, or because I can't see it. I want to try and get through to you that the elation, if this is resonating with you, and again I mentioned this last night, when you're physically training, you reach a point where everything in your body, every muscle in your body is screaming, stop, I can't go further, I can't do another lap, I can't do another push-up, I can't pull this weight, I can't. And the trainer screams at you and shouts at you, or you do that to yourself if you're strong enough to say, get it done, get past that point of wanting to stop, of wanting to give in. Even if you just get past that point by one push-up or one more lap or even half a lap, push through that screaming voice to say stop. So when you're meditating and when you're just starting out, the mind is so full of thoughts all the time. So to step away from that takes practice. So the first time, second time, third time, fourth, right up to 10th and more, you might be getting frustrated, you might be feeling that frustration of when you're trying to get into that space of where you step away from your physical body, you step away from your physical mind, and the 3D thoughts. It's at that point where it seems to scream even louder. It seems to have the survival instinct where your brain kicks in and the mind's like, no, I'm not stepping away, I'm here, I'm engaging. But you have to keep practicing, you have to get past that point of wanting to stop. On the other side of that, just as if you were training physically, on the other side of that point where you wanted to stop but you didn't, there's such elation, there's such a sense of relief, and your brain steps away just that bit more. And for the first time in a long time, or ever may be, you feel this release, this space, this time where it's just you, not even your physical body, not the things around you, just you, the essence of you. And then you go on. You go that bit further the next time, that bit further the next time. Before you know it, once you've gotten past that midway point, before you know it, you are flying in the cosmos. You are exploring realms. And within that space, you're exploring everything about you. You feel strong enough and safe enough to clear out all of the garbage, all of the labels, all of the conditioning, all of the self-deprecating thoughts in that space. That space is where you can truly draw all aspects of self and build them up. Build them up as if you're working out for a huge tournament. It's fun past that point. Yes, there are times that are maybe a bit frightening, maybe a bit difficult, but again, even that is an adventure, it's a challenge. It's like the thing of movies. You can go into different realms, you can speak to those that you've lost, you can speak to ancestors, ancient ones, It is a playground. And in that playground, there's healing, there's true hope, there's real ideas of how to go forward, there's movement. So try and get past that point today where you're feeling this weariness, this draining energy. Realize that the spell that's being cast, the ritual that's going on right now in the greater stage, that's exactly what they want. They want you at this point. They want you at this point where you're so lethargic that you'll just accept anything to get out of what is happening now, to get out of this lethargy. Don't do that. Serve self, go within self and fix self. And then in doing that, everything reflects in and outwards out of us. We give off an aura, we give off a frequency, a vibration. When we don't bother to work out in the inner grounds, when we don't bother to have the adventures of all of the other realms, all of the other endless possibilities, we're very close-minded, we're very easy to control, we're very easy to manipulate. We don't know the true expansiveness of our power. So this actually does do something to change what's happening right now. This is actually the most important thing to change what is happening right now collectively. For each and every individual to take this on board and use this time to their advantage. What is meant for harm can be made for good. What was meant for harm in that, this plan, this script that's going on right now to funnel us into our homes, isolate us from loved ones, isolate us from family and friends, control what's going on in the media, even social media being controlled to a great extent. It could only come into fruition because too many of us forgot about all aspects of self. Too many of us got complacent about just letting people and things outside of self control what we do and manipulate what we do and decide for us. So don't stay in this lethargy today. Dig past that. Don't give in to that. Don't give them what they want. Dig past it, and what is meant for harm, you make for good. And use this time to your advantage to work yourself out, to get yourself strong, to draw in and tie together all aspects of self. This will be the pebble in the water, if enough people do it, that ripples out and changes the narrative, gives freedom for just creativity to burst through, not this script that we've lived through endlessly, repeating itself with different scenarios, different characters maybe, but the same script. Just like fashion, it comes back round again. If you keep the same pair of jeans long enough, they're going to come back round again. If you look through history, all of the things that have happened, they're very similar and they're cyclical. Because it's a fixed script, there's no creativity there. The creativity is within us. The creativity is within all of these different possibilities, all of these different realms that we can connect to, that we can jump into, that we can fly into. So do this today, dig past that point, and then come out of it. Do more tonight, then come out of it. Try again tomorrow. Get further and further past that point. Challenge yourself, play with it, and get excited about the things, beings, discussions, knowings, understandings that you can have through doing the work to get there. It's not going to come just by magic. That's the first card. The second card for the 2nd of May is the 7 of Cups. So this is like the painting the castles in the sky, building castles in the sky. So many ideas, but so many leaks here today for me. This is the cups, the emotions, just like this 4 of Cups here. Because the work hasn't been done in the inner grounds, because there isn't the true recognition of the spiritual side of self, of the soul's journey. There's emotions dotted everywhere. There's leaks, there's emotional leaks. Again, something we were speaking about last night is these cords, these attachments to people that, you know, we may have forgotten how intense the relationship was, whether you were enemies, whether you were lovers, whether you were siblings, but those energetic cords that's still tied to you. Now, with doing the inner work, this is where you have dominion over that and you have control over that and knowledge over that. But without doing this inner work, you just have these leaks and you don't know where they're coming from. You don't know why you feel in certain ways. You know, the 7 cups here. You might go through today where you 1 minute feeling anxious, the next minute feeling teary, the next minute feeling angry, the next minute feeling elated. And to me, this does reflect what we were talking about last night, is all of these different energetic cords that we either haven't nourished, relationships that maybe we should have looked after better, maybe we should have kept in contact more, maybe we should have been had more gratitude for that relationship. Maybe that's what you're feeling, and maybe you take up those nudges that you have, those inner nudges. You think of someone and you think, I wonder how they're doing, I wonder if they're okay, I like that person, you know. Shouldn't have lost contact so easily. Make contact. I can guarantee you that person has been feeling you and thinking about you also. Even just to give a heads up to say that you care can mean a lot, especially with how people are feeling right now. But also these other energetic cords of where you might be feeling really anxious or really angry, or those energetic cords that you've just allowed to, it's like keeping loose strands, keeping, you know, ends that should have been tied up, that should have been, you know, plugged up, blocked up. Because with all of these cords, this energy does go back and forth between the individuals that are attached to these cords. So you may be getting affected not by your emotions, you may be getting affected by your emotions and others' emotions. So look at that video, actually, the Situation Room with Scotty and Rocky on YouTube. Look at that and look at how we were talking about the energetic cords, and the importance of recognizing them and doing the right thing by them, i.e. nourishing them, looking out for them, and building them up, or severing them and getting rid of that two-way street, that channel that you don't want to have. The third card, you know, does bring the ouch aspect to this, and this is the 3 of Swords. And I just feel like a lot of people might be, speaking of these energetic cords, might be regretting their actions after today if they react, if they're very reactionary, if they're very triggered. And you maybe say things that you wished you hadn't tomorrow, maybe say things that you wished you'd left alone until you felt a bit more calm. Again, that's another important thing, you know, the reason you should either nourish or cut different energetic cords, because they can affect you in your relationships, in your day-to-day life now, and they can affect you in the blink of an eye. And if you're reactionary to them, then you've got to deal with the fallout of whatever your reaction was and to who that was given to, what that reaction has done to the person that you gave it to. Again, that's, you know, it's emotional dumping, isn't it? You're feeling it because you didn't do the work to get rid of it, and then you're just dumping it on the next person. And so there may be some regrets of saying things that you didn't mean by tomorrow. It also speaks to, you know, the wounded heart, past wounds, things that you haven't cleared up, things that you haven't looked at. So everything about today is going back to doing the inner work, clearing out those grounds, making your soil fertile again, getting those weeds out so there's space and room and time within for creativity, rather than this festering wound that is made up of many different things, but is draining you both emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And right now, although this might seem like an ouch day, again, it is an opportunity. It is a big opportunity, because nice days are nice days and they're great. Everybody loves a nice day. Everybody loves, a day where you just laugh from beginning to end. And that is so good for you. It builds you up. It does so much for you. And it does so much for the people around you. But this kind of day, if you take this kind of day on board and flip it on its head and take it as an invitation to grow, expand, and really get rid, sever old wounds, old ties to people, and really move into your new world without any of the baggage. You don't need to move into your world with the world that you create with baggage. That's not necessary. You can move into the world that you create with lessons learned, expansion, growth. You don't have to have that baggage if you do the inner work. So actually on the ouch days like this, these are the days that offer the most growth, expansion, leveling up. And what does that bring? It brings knowledge. Knowledge is power. What else does it bring? It brings elation. It brings a release. So then you laugh. You have another nice day. It's a cycle. It's a balance. And this is a process. It's a continuous process at that. So take it for what it is. When those feelings pop up, when that person pops up in your head, write that person's name down. Even if you don't remember their name, write down something that will make you jog your memory to see their face when you visualize it again. Write down the emotions that you felt at the moment that person popped into your head. If it was good, follow up on it, take some action, try and find that person, say hello, or use the cord that they got in touch with you with and just energetically, with intent, send that person love, send that person compassion, send that person a smile right through that energetic cord. It will reach them just as much as a telephone call will reach them. On the other hand, if it's negative, write down the emotion that comes up with that person, and later on use this as the impetus to have some quiet time, go within. And it might be, actually, this is a gift, because this helps you get into meditation, because it gives you the impetus to want to get rid. Some people are picturing some people that literally they're so angry that that person is even in their head, that is enough drive. That's a gift to make you want to do this process of meditation. And actually it's not as difficult as just going within, because you're going into meditation with an intent and actually something for your mind to do. So it's easier to quieten your mind because you're concentrating. Concentrate on that person, visualize their face. Maybe after you've written down the emotions that come up with this person, that you associate with this person, feel those emotions. See the name of that emotion in your mind's eye, and then allow your body to feel that emotion. And then picture a cord, whatever kind of cord you want. For my negative ones, it's always steel, wrapped, plaited, and depending on how bad it was and how long it lasted, it gets thicker and thicker. And I'll take a chainsaw to those things, and then I'll melt those things. I have fun doing it. I'm not sending any energy to that person. I cut it just as a baby doesn't get affected by their umbilical cord being cut. The baby's fine on the other side. I'm not building up any karma for myself, but by sending any, nasty energy their way. But I'm clamping it off and I'm severing it, and I have fun. Sparks fly. It's a chainsaw. I love tools. So that gets you into meditation actually a heck of a lot easier than just closing your eyes and trying to quieten your mind and trying to get your mind to shut up for a minute, which it won't at first. So actually, the universe is so good. The balance of everything is so good, because if you dig deep enough, the invitations are there, the blessings are there, the things that will give you an easier ride, the impetus to do something. And so visualize that and have fun with it. Once you sever that cord, you'll feel that release. You'll feel that plug put in your leak. Ultimately, you're going to wake up much more whole, have much more energy, and not be affected by the energy that was previously sent down that cord the previous day that would make you cross or anxious. So there's real work to be done here, real work to be done. With this Three of Swords, some of you are feeling really lost, some of you are feeling really low, some of you are feeling like you don't want to be here. Dig past that feeling. Don't give in to that feeling. Dig past that feeling. There's a deeper understanding for you on the other side of this day. Make sure you get past this day. Make sure you see tomorrow, because there is a deeper meaning, deeper knowledge, a deeper respect for the lessons you learned through whatever abuse it is that is making you feel like you don't want to be here today. So dig past today. I challenge you to. You will feel better tomorrow. You'll have a greater understanding of you tomorrow, especially if you're brave enough to do this work. And you are brave enough, you are confident enough. You are facing you in this work. Nobody else. There's no judgment. There's no nothing. There's just you. And you past today are going to feel a lot more whole, a lot more knowledgeable about self, and even about the people that afflicted these wounds on your heart. So there's growth today, huge growth. And on a plus note, underpinning the whole reading on the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Cups. So much emotional work being done today, especially if you take the universe up on its beautiful invitation to make yourself whole. This is new relations, a feeling of overwhelming joy. Your cup overflows, bliss, happiness, a new start, more precisely. That you clear out these old wounds, you do this inner work, you feel light by tomorrow. You feel like you're walking on air. You don't feel triggered. You feel that release. You feel like you again, and it's an amazing feeling. So dig past today, do the work today, and feel better tomorrow. And I'll be back tomorrow, and it'll be interesting to see where everybody's at and where the energy is at. If you would like a private reading, you can get in touch with me with any of the details above or below this video. The easiest is probably Facebook Messenger at TrueDivine44. Other than that, the email's fine. If you would like to do any energy workout sessions, they're great too. Just the same contact details. Just highlight which service you want. And there's more coming. So have a great day. Be balanced. Be whole always. Love you.